Hey everyone, Marco Schwartz here. In this episode, you will find the interview that I did with the CEO of the platform Reinvest24, Tanel Orro, who accepted to come on the show to speak about the platform and also to tell us what are his views on real estate crowdfunding, what he thinks also of the field related to the COVID crisis, and also what are their plans in the future. So I really love the platform because I invest on them myself. They have some really nice projects that actually also pay a rent every month. So that's the type of real estate crowdfunding project that I really like. So I really wanted to have him on the show for a long time. So without further ado, here is the interview that I did with the CEO of Reinvest24, Tanel Orro. Cool. So yeah, thank you so much for coming to this interview. Can you just introduce yourself and Reinvest24 just to get started?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Tanel Orro. I'm the CEO of Reinvest24. We are a real estate crowdfunding platform operating from Tallinn, Estonia. We currently offer two different types of real estate investments on our platform from three different markets: Estonia, Latvia, and Moldova. So the first type is the rental properties, where we purchase the property and stay operating it through SPV. So it's a single purpose company that we create just to operate this single property. We give our investors for this type of properties the same benefits and security as owning just a part of that real estate. So that means monthly income from the rental payouts, as well as the capital growth from the value appreciation over time. The second type is development loans, which are more familiar for B2B investors overall. Basically, you can participate in some property development. It's well secured with a first rank mortgage and offers pretty high interest rates as well.
Okay, great. The question that I asked to all platforms is, why do you think like what you do, what you offer to investors is better than other, like typical investments like real estate, like typical real estate, like you buy a flat and you manage it yourself, or for example, compared to investing on the stock market? You can pick any of those, and why you think what you offer is actually better.
Yeah, I actually really support and like classic real estate investments. In my opinion, they are the lowest risk investments that offer decent yield. But the problem here is the entry barrier, which is very high. Not everyone has the capital needed or the knowledge, the time to take care of the properties as well. So it's kind of hard to get started with these type of investments. The idea with Reinvest24 is that we're lowering the entry barrier that everyone can participate. So starting from just €100 investments, we do all the market research, we take care of the properties, and our investors are basically passive landlords. Of course, the stock markets can be very profitable as well, but I feel that it requires a lot of knowledge, some time to do all the research, and risk-wise, it can't really be compared to real estate investments, especially in unstable times like now.
All right, awesome. Yeah, definitely agree that I love this idea of that everybody can become a landlord, right? That's what I really like about this whole idea of real estate crowdfunding. As you know, I won't teach you anything here. There are a lot of other platforms on the market, right? Which do also crowd lending and peer-to-peer lending. So what would you say, how is Reinvest24 better or different, at least from the other platforms out there?
Yeah, so we aim to provide or offer only very low risk investments. So we take the risks very seriously. We're very conservative when it comes to our property selection. We rather choose quality over quantity. It means that we might be publishing less properties, but we rather want to be sure that this property can be sustainable throughout market cycles and we're not dependent only on the period of the growth. So the risk-wise, I would say that the difference So this is one of the things that we maybe focus more on than some other platforms, as we're looking to provide investments that are long-term and sustainable throughout market cycles. And even in the time of COVID right now, we can see that our properties are not affected much. Our investors have not lost capital. Our interest payments or rental payments or even exits, profitable exits, have not been delayed because of the COVID.
Okay, awesome. Then we will move more now into more like questions that the audience sent. But before that, I have one question that everybody that is like new to real estate crowdfunding and peer-to-peer lending always ask that at the end of the day, right? You send money to your platform, for example, and what is actually the guarantee for the investor that it will actually be paid back, right? That he will actually receive money back from the investment. So that's the usual question I get from people that are new to the field, right? So what would you say to answer this kind of question?
Yes, so the Baltic crowdfunding markets are unregulated, so the risk is definitely there, especially if you're investing into unsecured loans. It's very hard to verify that the platform is doing everything correctly if they're working with loan originators, for example. But when it comes to real estate crowdfunding, then there must be always a collateral. So the collateral is the property itself. So if things go bad, then there is always possibility to sell the real estate property and restore the investors' funds from there. And it's quite easy to verify what the platform is doing and if they're doing things correctly by just going to the land registry and looking at some of their properties to see if the collaterals are in place. So this is your guarantee. The risk difference here is huge. Investing into unsecured loans in unregulated markets versus real estate investments which are secured with first-rank collateral. But at the same time, I would say that the offered yield is actually pretty much at the same level. There isn't that big difference on that. So the collateral for real estate platforms is what is your guarantee to get your money back?
Okay. Yeah, great. That will definitely answer this question here. On the same field, I actually sent some email to my audience before this interview, and I picked two questions that came back over and over. So we can just go over those two now. The first one, you already answered it a bit. What's actually the specific plans that you have at the moment to really protect the investors' money during the crisis due to the COVID-19?
Yes, so it's actually something that we don't do or exercise only when the times are unstable or bad. It's something that we've been thinking since the day of launching the platform. So this kind of uncertain times that we have, or we had in spring, especially when no one really knew what's going to happen, is and we also saw a huge panic on the stock markets, and also obviously real estate market had some hit as well. These type of things are, for my opinion, something that they are a regular part of the market cycle. So it's nothing that is coming as a surprise to us. We actually been thinking about this since day one. So we've been looking and selecting our properties, thinking of what will happen if we see another housing crisis like we saw in 2008. So we've been actually exercising all those things already from day one, not that now we have crisis and now we need to take some extra measurements. The risks have always been our top priority when it comes to selecting what type or what kind of properties we offer for our investors. So I would say that we see actually this kind of periods as an opportunity to offer our investors better opportunities that we see in the market. But at the same time, we're still very conservative with our selection. We are still choosing quality over quantity, and we're still looking into doing oral deep due diligence, not just trying to get better volume of properties on the platform. So all these things are actually exercised daily basis, and not only when we are in unstable times.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense. Great. The second question that I had from the audience was, at the moment there is also a lot of talks from different platforms in the field about more transparency, but also regulation. So for example, some platforms have announced that they are looking to get some kind of investment or brokerage licenses in the country where they are based, right? So can you tell anything about that regarding Reinvest24? Is that in your plans? You're thinking about it? Anything you could actually tell about this topic?
Yeah, I feel that regulations and licensed platforms are something that will definitely are well needed in the crowd lending overall. As you know, we've seen some really bad shady events happening in the past year, I would say, and at the same time, it's also something that has alarmed investors, and they're looking into risk more seriously, not just diversifying between all the platforms and all the projects, and not really looking where they're investing and hoping that their risks are well diversified. That's not the definition of diversification. But regarding to licenses, we're looking forward for the Estonian financial inspection to put the regulations in force in Estonia. They're working on it since spring, when we had some cases, especially with Estonian crowdfunding platforms, and we're expecting them to be in fully forced next year. But currently we have been also looking into some other licenses, and some of the work is actually in progress already. I can give you some more details on that in the near future, as we're still in between of some things.
Okay, great. That's definitely, I think people will love this answer. So now more questions about maybe the future. Where do you see the field of real estate crowdfunding going in the next years? For example, technology will change, or there will be more challenges. Where do you see that going? What would be new and better for investors maybe?
Well, yeah, I can see that the real estate crowdfunding especially is the one that, this kind of uncertain times are like a test period to, it's very young industry overall, and it's been booming, growing very quickly. My opinion has always been that it can be sustainable at that pace, and the business models that are not efficient enough, or where the risks are not managed well enough, will fall off in the process. So the COVID-19 is definitely one of the test barriers that will determine what kind of business models works well and which ones aren't, and also for the investors wise, where the investors have lost most money and where they haven't lost basically nothing. And now if we look at the past half year, then investors have been losing a lot of money in crowd lending, in unsecured loans. The fraud platforms have been working with mostly unsecured loans and so on. While with the real estate crowdfunding, the investors haven't lost much, if any. So I think the investors are also seeing real estate crowdfunding as a better option, as the risks are lower. They're taking the risks more seriously and understanding that it's not only that chasing the highest yield and all the platforms are paying it out as they promised, but there are also some bad scenarios that can happen. So I think the investors are like shifting more towards the real estate as it's more secured. The interest rates are very high thanks to the banks being conservative. So I see that, of course, the crowd lending overall, I support it as well. I don't say nothing bad about it, but the regulations are needed because it's very hard to verify what's actually happening. Until then, I see the investors shifting more towards real estate crowdfunding and looking at the interest rates that are possible to be offered to the investors. I don't see that changing anytime soon, and the whole real estate crowdfunding industry will continue to grow even if we get hit by the second or third COVID wave.
Okay, yeah, I also hope so, for sure. There are a lot of new people that are watching my channel and listen to my podcast. So what would you say to somebody that is really just starting to invest in real estate crowdfunding or in crowdlending? So imagine somebody that invests for the first time, right, on the platform, for example. What kind of advice would you give to those people?
Yeah, I would recommend to again take the risk seriously. Take some time to do your research, look into the platforms, what type of investments they are offering, what kind of risks those investments hold. For example, what will happen with your money in the worst case scenario. So think those things through. Don't just invest looking at numbers, how much you can earn, but actually try to understand where you're investing, where your money will go, how it will make profits for you. So this is like the basics that you should understand before investing. And there are a lot of theories that that you can diversify between that many platforms or that many projects, and then in the long term you will be fine and your risks are I don't really recommend that. Rather try to understand, don't be afraid of risks, but try to understand the risks. And you start small. If you're investing just like 100 euros or 500 euros, but you already are invested, there is more motivation for you to read more, learn more, and to understand more. But while you're just looking on the sideways and your skin is not in the game, it might be difficult to find the motivation. So place a small investment and look where it goes, and try to understand what's actually happening with your money and how the profits are made.
Okay, yeah, great advice. Thank you. What did you share actually, maybe looking in the future also, about the coming plans for your platform? Maybe some new feature that you can share, or some app maybe? Anything?
Yeah, we actually have a lot of things in our pipeline, but I wouldn't want to talk about everything right now, but just what we actually have in progress already and is very close to be on the platform. First of all, the secondary market, which is long waited. We've been working on it for quite a long time. There have been a lot of challenges that needed to take care, but I can say that today we're in progress of making an update on the platform to release all the secondary market functionalities. The front end side will not be there yet. Most likely it will happen next week if everything goes smoothly. Then it will also appear to the investors, and investors can start using secondary market on our platform. This is a huge milestone for us. We've been struggling on this a bit. It's been taking a bit longer than we expected, but we have now all the functionalities fully working, and we're confident that I can say that next week, within a week or two, it will be there and all the investors can use it. So this is one of the updates. We also have in progress a loyalty program on our platform. You can already see that there are different levels. It's based, your name on the account will have different levels. The levels are based on your portfolio size on Reinvest24 platform, and it will provide you with different sort of discounts on the primary market, secondary market, as well as some of the advantages. I don't want to tell everything right now, as we will be announcing all this information very soon. So this is the technical side of the platform, but also we're looking to open new markets. We've been looking into 2 new markets in the past half year. We've been very close of listing or publishing a property on both of them, but we haven't done it yet, as we are still in process of the due diligence, and we're not fully certain of some of these the properties that we have been looking into. So I'm pretty sure that it will happen in a very short future. So there will be new markets, so you can diversify between different geolocations as well. Currently we have 3, but we're looking to reach 5 markets in the near future.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing those new plans. Sounds really exciting. So to finish, what are the best ways to actually get information about your platform, get started if somebody wants to actually invest? What should they do?
Yeah, we are very active on all social media channels. You can message us on Facebook, on Telegram chat. We have a support email, support@reinvest24.com, where we're very actively answering all the questions. Where I also personally answer some of the questions the investors have. And you can also directly email me with your questions, Tanel@reinvest24.com.
Okay, awesome. I made sure to put all the links in the show notes for people listening to the podcast, and also to the YouTube channel for people watching us on YouTube. Awesome. So thank you so much for answering all those questions. I hope that it will be very informative for people watching this. And yes, thank you again for coming on the show.
Okay, yeah. Thanks, Marco, for having me.
Alright, so this is already the end of this interview that I did with Tanel Orro from Reinvest24. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that it was useful for you. To learn more, you can check the links that I will put below the video. You will find a link directly to Reinvest24 if you want to check out the platform. You will also find a link to my review of the platform that I have on my site at martoschwarz.com. You will find all the latest updates that I made about the platform, what I think, how my own investments on the platform are doing. So you can also check that just below the video. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to just leave them below the video. And that being said, thank you again for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.